Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the August 19, 2025 meeting of the Patchogue Village Zoning Board of Appeals. First application will be a new application, that of 2521. Mr. Edward Shine, 30 Sunset Lane, seeks permission to construct a three-story, single-family dwelling requiring relief to 435-15A. C. Lot area required 7,500 square feet, provided 7,043 square feet. Requires relief 435-15G. 9-foot side yard required, provided 5 feet. Total side yard required 25, provided 15. Requires relief of 435-15D. 30 feet front yard setback required, provided 20. Subject premises is located in the A residential zone. Is Mr. Shine a representative thereof?
My attorney says you just pulled in. I was not.
Excuse me, who are you, sir?
My name is Matthew Alpiano. I'm the architect.
You're the architect and you are? Oh, you're the applicant. Okay. Would you allow to wait for your attorney?
She said she could pull in if you could wait 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's what you request. We can do that in a few seconds. Thank you.
Oh, I know now. Yeah.
Oh, you have a statement,
Mr. Chair, I would like to recuse myself from this application as I live in too close a proximity to the applicant address.
And so as there's no evidence of an impropriety, you're going to recuse?
Yes.
Gotcha. All right, Ms. LaMontagne is recused from the application. John, when you're ready. Council, we already read the application, so you're up.
Wonderful.
Okay, just state your name and address for the record.
Sure. Melissa Zelli, Zelli and Associates, 86 Avenue, Patchogue. How's everything?
Everything is well, thank you, Council. Okay, please explain the application to the board.
You can come up to the podium.
Yeah, come on up.
Everything. Jump in.
Sure. Okay, why don't we get settled in?
Yeah.
Okay. So a few months ago, I was approached by Mr. Shine, who's asking to design.
Or if you just state your name and address.
Oh, I'm sorry, my name is Matthew Alpiano.
Great.
Registered architect. My office is 2 Main Street, Sable.
There you go. Great.
And so a few months ago, Mr. Shine asked me to kind of take a set of plans or an approved document from the DEC, which I'd like to show you guys. It was a permit and a survey. It was approved by the DEC, so the footprint. Sure you may or not have
We
a.
have that in our packet. Oh, yes.
So it's the proposed survey, right? So the
Do we have the certificates of mailing, the green cards?
We do. Yes, we do.
Great. And then, you have this, what this gentleman has in the packet.
here's a certificate of mailing to green cards, and here are all the receipts.
Great, I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna get. All right. Okay.
That's everything we got back. We didn't get everything.
So,
Thank you.
I don't have this. Okay.
Central being rented.
Marvin, not the rest. All right, we got it. We're in receipt.
Okay. So earlier this year, Mr. Shine provided me with a proposed survey and a permit from the DEC showing the footprint, which is the allowable footprint for construction. So that's what kind of drove the design. So based on that, we constructed single family home that's within the height limits. It requires setback from the ocean front. And unfortunately, we are limited as far as the setback from the street and from the side yards.
Mhm.
And so today we're asking the board to consider providing Mr. Shine relief on the ordinance that you just mentioned earlier on. I believe it's 435-15, you said so? 435-15,
435-15, yeah.
yep. And we believe that the home is, fits in context with everyone else. When we looked at the surrounding context, there were a number of homes that were non-conforming. We felt that this existing footprint that was provided to me would be acceptable to the community and to the board, constructing it within, as long as we can, be modest about the height limits and the architectural settings and the requirements and the facade, and being thoughtful about the front facade and some of the material choices.
Great. I'm going to show a copy of the tax map that would show that this property is similar to other properties.
There was something included.
We have like copies too.
Oh, I got you. Okay. All right, so we're in receipt of this.
Yes, so there are a number of homes that, I didn't take a ruler or a tape measure to the properties. But from a visual observation, many of those homes are non-compliant.
Mhm.
You have to, or needed to take additional measures to measure that.
No, I would have to say that, at least the lots that are in question are down in that area. A lot of them predated the code.
Right, and to that point, this particular lot predates it. We filed a single and separate survey, and so this lot is never an adjoined lot with anyone else. So pre-1953, this lot has always been single and separate.
Mr. Chairman, I sat down with counsel, we read through the single and separate and did verify that the property in fact is single and separate.
Okay,
Any of
that
those
was that part.
properties on either side.
Great. All right.
So, are there any particular questions regarding the style, setbacks?
Yeah, this board is really only concerned in the setbacks.
Okay,
Okay. That is to say, you're 20 feet from the front, you will, and not 30. But it appears visually driving down that street that most of the houses on that side of the road are only about 20 feet.
that's
And
correct.
if you tried to go 30 feet back, chances are your back porch would be in the back.
If that's correct, and we would then violate the existing permit from the DEC
DEC.
requiring 75.
There you go.
That's correct.
Also noticing in this area that there are homes that are pretty tight to their property line. You're asking for 5 foot on that one side. Okay.
That is correct.
All right. So it seemingly is congruent with the area. Any questions from members of the board?
Mr. Chair, was
Kristen?
there an existing property here that was torn down? Or it's just always been?
Not to my knowledge. From my understanding, it's always been a vacant lot. And recently, I believe Mr. Shine, got the septic upgraded so that he's. Oh, that was a street thing. Okay, so, I don't know if that was an out-of-pocket local expense or that was done by the.
Yeah, not a purview of this board.
Okay,
That's my,
got it.
we're just concerned about how that thing sits on a piece of property.
Understood.
And what you're asking for is an area variance. Okay, side yard, everything.
Okay.
Questions like cesspool sewers, all that, plenty.
Sure.
All right, any other questions, members of the board? All right, so the lot itself is 7,043, but it has been held single and separate. Correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So. Even though the lot doesn't really meet, it's already been deemed that. You build on. If you get, the variances required.
Right, I mean, this was already constructed pre-1953.
It's a non-issue.
It would be an issue, that's correct.
It's a non-issue. All right,
Mr. Chairman, I just clarify something. On this diagram, I might be looking in the wrong spot. It says the total lot size is 6,889 square feet. The application says 7,043 square feet.
I would have to verify that, but I would just make sure that with the mean watermark.
Okay.
So that may have been adjusted based on where the average water level was.
okay, which is, I would imagine most of the deeds in that area read that way on that strip.
Right,
Yeah, me and I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
and I was slightly conservative in our approach, so that the board can get full knowledge of everything that we're expecting.
Gotcha. Any other questions from members of the board? No, if you'll excuse us. Okay. Any member of the public who would like to speak for or against this application? Sure, when you come up, please state your name and address for the record.
I've got copies of my presentation, if you'd like to present it, or just give it myself.
You can just give it yourself, and I'm going to finish. If you'd like to hand me one, we'll make sure it's entered into the record. Okay, fair enough?
My first name is Ron, my last name is Healy, and I live at 34 Sunset Lane, right next door, actually, east of Ed Shine,
Okay, same side of the street.
same side of the street.
Okay.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Ron Healy. I live at 34 Sunset Lane, right next door to Ed Shine and his family. Been a proud resident of Patchogue since 2002, almost 23 years to the day. I understand the purpose of this hearing is to hear the approval or disapproval comments of neighboring property owners concerning the proposed development in question. As you're all aware, this property has caused significant tension and stress amongst neighbors, code enforcement, board members, and even the courts. Before I dive into my concerns, I'd like to share a little of my own experience with the board and the hearing process. Oh, by the way, this is my wife over here. This is Pat.
I was wondering if we were going to get to that, but okay.
Like Ed too, I went through the same process before breaking ground on my property. However, unlike Ed, I did not have any easement restrictions tied to my property. As a result, things went a bit smoother for me. If I recall correctly, during my own hearing process, I distinctly remember being told by the building department, the board, and even Peter Savage that the vacant property in question was considered unbuildable due to three factors: its size, the Board of Health, and legal easements attached to it for the Swensons and those with the designated easements deeded by Bay's Edge Realty. Had those easements and requirements not been in place, I would have considered purchasing that property myself, as it would have provided me an extra layer of privacy and security for the future. But now, because some of those restrictions have been relaxed, I now find myself in this difficult position today. If anyone requires proof to back up my memory, I'm sure there are transcripts in the village records that can attest to my memory. That's probably going to be up to you, Carol, right? Let me be clear. I'm on good terms with the owner of this property, and I want to stress that my presentation here today is not personal. It's strictly business, as Ed would say. So I'm sure the owner would agree. Now, to the heart of my concerns regarding the proposed build. Because during my hearings with the board over 20 years ago, and because the property was considered unbuildable, my retaining wall was built exactly on the property line, and my house not far from that. From my conversations with Ed, I get the impression that the house is going to be built to the maximum size allowed by both the DEC and the village building requirements. My main worry, however, is that the proposed structure will be so close to my property line that it could feel like we're living on top of one another. And I don't think anyone, the board included, would want a house built so close that you could pass a cup of sugar between windows. If you look at the average setbacks of the homes to the immediate east of me, you'll see distances of about 39 to 45 foot. I took measurements with a rangefinder, respectively, from each other of those houses. I hope you'll consider these average side yard setback distances when making the decision, and not based on your judgment solely on the side setbacks of the Casone cottages to the immediate west of Ed Shine's property. Those cottages do probably have approximately 5 to 10 foot setbacks. To the east of me, you have anywhere from 35 to 45, if not more, going to the east. So one of the reasons I moved further out east from Queens was to avoid the feeling of living on top of one another, as often the case with smaller, more cramped lots in other parts of the area. I'm sure you'll understand the value of space and privacy, and that's why I'm asking you to please consider these factors carefully before coming to a decision. In conclusion, I ask that you give the situation the thoughtful consideration it deserves and not rush into a decision simply for the sake of future potential tax revenue. I appreciate your time. Hope you'll make a decision that reflects the true character of suburban life living. Thank you very much. If you have any questions for me, feel free to fire away.
Can I have a copy of your presentation?
Sure.
Thank you. I'd like to put that on the record.
Is this one yours?
So now, out of this town. Okay, let's see, I am right here, so right out to me. So now, if you look at all of these side yard setbacks, they all have, I mean, from my house to this house, that's 35. From this house to this house, that's 45. And then as you can see, there's a drastic difference over here. These are all, those are close side setbacks there. Those are all cottages, which plan, from what I understand, plan on being raised this fall. Under the same footprint, I believe, but I think they just had a hearing for that.
Is that the one where
You can have a copy.
it's three cottages? Yes, okay, yes.
Yeah.
Take a copy of
I think
that.
Where did you go?
Oh, my
Thank
goodness.
you. Do we have those this week? I'll look at my phone. That have any requests for?
So was I jittery up here or what?
No, you did swell. huh?
Yeah, okay.
This is off the record. But I used to go to the beach here when I was a kid.
Really?
That was a beach. And over here, where those houses are,
Cottages.
there was, no, the big houses
On River.
Oh,
on
on
the
river.
river. There was a little bridge. You could walk right over to the
Okay,
other property
really?
on the other side. Yeah. My God.
So,
That's
are
a
we
long
dating,
time ago.
are we dating
Oh,
ourselves?
yeah. Oh, and there definitely weren't as many houses down here. trust me.
No, I'm
That was
sure.
the mother daughter.
So I didn't, listen, I didn't mean any
No, that was in
sarcasm. I didn't mean
1972.
any sarcasm, but
No, no,
I hope you base this decision.
No, we,
Not by, tax revenue.
Not at all.
That was like an afterthought after, with that, but,
That's not what this board, that's not what this.
my concern is, it's, those cottages, they're close. But if you look to the east of me, you've got 35 to 45 foot between those houses.
Yeah, but it's funny, when you look across the street, some of those side yards look tight. But again, that was that 1972 when they built those mother-daughters, and then the village said, we don't have a mother-daughter rule.
Right.
That was interesting.
Right.
Uh,
So how do you make a decision then?
uh,
You got half that, got close proximity, and then you got the other half
Well,
that have a substantial setback then.
then that's the job of this board, absolutely.
Okay,
All right, thank you, Ron.
thank you, I
And
appreciate it.
thank you for mentioning your wife, we appreciate that. Any other member of the public who would like to speak for or against this application?
Would it be possible to respond to that?
You will at the end, sir. Yeah, absolutely. You definitely get your day. Hi, welcome.
My name is Kim Swinson and I live at 13 Sunset Lane and like kind of directly across from Mr. Shine, and then the other side of my property is across from the right of way, 30 Sunset Lane.
And you had a little sign above your front door. I forgot what the heck it said.
Yeah.
What did it say?
Sandpiper.
Sandpiper, that's it. Yeah, okay, great, okay, good. All right.
And we're beach people. I just have copies of, I was away and the sign went up, so I was kind of, should I just give them all to you guys?
Oh, God, he said-
I did give it to them.
Yeah,
They have
have
that.
Oh, you have this already?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have.
Yeah, is that what I have here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Oh,
have.
okay.
Council, you
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, I heard it.
You went through everything. Legals.
So I live at 13 Sunset Lane and my name is Kim Swinson. And, we bought the house in 1990 and it was with, it's in the deed and it's written that we have an easement, which is the entire property, 30 Sunset Lane. It's the 50 by 100, the entire lot. And we've been using it since then. And I think it's been used, I think my house might be 100 years old, but it's been used, at least if you look in the court papers and the judgment from Honorable Judge Riley, that it shows that it is an easement that cannot be built on. No, what does it say? As vested with an absolute and unencumbered valid easement in and over the certain parcel and property known as 30 Sunset Lane. Says 10 there, that was a typo, but there are the coordinates, the degrees, and the tax number. And then the second order in judgment was directed to remove any fencing and or obstructions that interfere with and encumber, plaintiffs with the Swinson use, enjoyment, and access of rights and or easement over the property. And then the third one was hereby forever barred from asserting an estate or interest in to the property which is adverse or hostile to the plaintiffs. I think that was just put in because it's been years of like bullying or problems that we've had fences in the water, and I really rather not get into it, but the village is aware. There've been, you know, every time we went to court, you've gotten a copy of everything. And then the fourth one was, oh, just something statutory costs that were supposed to be paid to us. But I did want to bring this up because prior to me leaving Saturday, I guess it was Friday, the sign went up and I was like, building. I mean, you know, it's not a buildable lot, it's an easement. It's been there for
The judge,
a long time.
I'm not an attorney.
Mhm.
But the judge rented the entire parcel.
Yes, and in my deed, it says the entire, we used to go down the middle prior to Mr. Shine buying it. So then what the judge was attempting to do over the years and, you know, getting, you know, you can see, you know, the fence right into the water and the different things. I got a call on my boat, I think it was 10 feet, not that far out. And, you know, even that paperwork says my property, you know, because I used to moor a boat out front. So we've been doing this for years, and we used to, as a family, go down the middle of the lot. My mom used to live at where the Cassones are, the 3 little cottages, she used to own that. So I would go across the street to her house and usually come back that way or vice versa for a long time. So, and it was prior to me when Brower owned the property, so it was passed on to me. And then in my deed, it says it's passed down to whoever like buys my house or, you know, it's passed on. So it's
All right, so you're saying,
unencumbered.
That-
No, I'm not saying it's,
you're saying in this documentation,
yeah, and my deed,
and your deed,
beach and bathing purposes, 50, it tells you 50 to 100. It tells you the entire property. In this document from the judge, it says in and over the property. And right now, you know, like the judge had asked us, well, could you get along? Could you not get along? Could you come up with something that would work for both parties?
Yeah.
So, you know, I feel we attempted to do that as a family. Like the fence, for example, it says take it down, it's still up, well, not half was taken down, and there was there's a gate that was created by Mr. Shine, and the distance of the gate, I still go through poison ivy, and his property is pristine, it's beautiful. But when you go down where I have to cut in, so not to go on the Thelian's lot, it's poison ivy, it's overgrown, you know, so it's very hard to bring my kayak through. I can't go down the middle, so I'm in a very tight, if you go down, you could see, very tight space. So it's kind of comical to watch me. I actually even have fallen a few times, but I bounced back, it's all fine. I did, you know, it is amusing at this point, but it doesn't make it easier for me. And we have, you know, kind of stopped with that, so, you know, have I thought, oh, get the fence down, you were told to get the fence down, no, I haven't done that. Because, you know, I don't need the entire lot to go down on, I could use some more space, yeah. But,
so that's something you have to work out.
Yeah, so there is a judgment that says what, Mrs. Swenson's, reflecting.
and you have it, my deed, I brought that down, I think a couple of times, and it's written very clearly in the deed. And the other thing I wanted to mention is, it's not just the Swinsons. Everybody refers to, oh, it's the Swinsons, Sunset Lane. This is a beach, that block, it's a beach community. There's a lot of history there. And it's for anyone with Bay River Realty.
Yeah.
So
There is
there
a
are other
subsequent
people.
order though from the court, from Judge Riley, in which he disagrees with the notion that it prohibits the defendant's right to build structures.
Yes. So nothing can be built there.
No,
He says he disagrees with
He
that.
disagrees. He actually says,
Ah,
the court disagrees with the interpretation of the judgment that it prohibits defendant's right to build structures on property. He says that
easement is limited to access for the purpose of bathing and beach access. It does not grant plaintiffs or their successor in interest unfettered access to defendant's property. And this was Judge Riley interpreting that judgment. That was
What,
issued.
what page is that on? 3?
This is a January 5th order from that litigation. It seems like
Questions, does that mean that they're just limited to maybe building like a pergola structure or something like that?
there's,
We're talking about a 3-bedroom house.
yeah, there's a little bit of vagueness to Judge Riley's order and even the judgment to a certain extent.
I'm sorry, what, I don't see what you're reading.
This is an order dated January 5th, 2023. I don't know if it's in your submission or not, but this was filed by the court in that action, in that litigation. So this was like a couple of months after that January, that 2022 judgment. So the judgment that's dated May 11th, 2022, which has all the stuff you just mentioned.
May 11th.
And then what happened was, I think that the defendants argued that they were concerned that the judgment could be read as blocking them from then being able to build on the lot. And then Judge Riley issued this order saying, disagreed with that interpretation, that the interpretation of the judgment blocking the right to build structures on the property.
That's page 1 on that?
It's on that January 5th order, it would be the second page. It's only 2 page, it's only a 2-page.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
It's 2 separate
Packets.
packets though. I
Yeah.
don't know if.
Yeah.
I don't know which one is with this.
Which one are we reading from?
But that's,
Do we know which one?
that's the legalese.
I mean, that's illegal, yeah. and-
What's in front of me now is a variance. That's all, whether they can build it or not, that's up to the court to decide, what's in front of us is a variance. It's interesting that they picked a lot to make an easement.
Well, it was a beach community. When I. when
Yeah,
we
and there was a
moved there,
beach, there was
there
a
were-
beach right here.
Yeah, there weren't a lot of houses like that.
Oh,
corner
I know all
house.
about it, and there was,
Yes,
but there was a beach here.
yes,
So why would you need that to be an easement if there was a beach here?
because I believe Brower and I believe Mr. Shine's house was, I know, and I knew the lady Rose, she actually had that house moved here.
Mhm.
And, onto the lot, not what's there now, but, I believe they were related. Some of the people, or Brower owned a few of it, he owned the easement, he owned, where Mr. Shine is now, and she actually bought that property from him, so they weren't, those two weren't related.
When the applicant comes back up, I would like to know if they made a fee purchase or they made for a piece of property, what does their deed say? Does that say that it's an encumbered parcel? It's
Well,
interesting.
and it's not just our deed, it's other people, and it could be back in Price Street too, so.
But I'm just wondering,
It's just
with
not
with
something
that deed,
There's a bunch of tutus in there.
when they did a title search, they would have said the property is encumbered.
Yeah, I mean, I think all the property,
The
properties in the old
third page.
subdivision, so to speak, have this language in easement. I think the idea was that the developer is selling the house, and promising beach access, you know. and
Okay,
that
that's
was-
possible. So we'll see that when that goes up. Again, that's not what's before us.
Yeah, I mean, we may have to figure it out. And
Anything we be subject to,
Yeah,
any decision we make could be subject to.
Yeah, because my deed said something to the effect, together with the rights of others in common with others, a private right of way, 50 feet. In width at Sunset Lane running easterly and east side of River Avenue is shown on survey made in 1948. So what's that, 77 years of the premises herein before described. Together with the right to use in common with others for beach and bathing purposes, a piece of land 50 feet in width from east to west and approximately 100 feet in length from north to south. The northwest corner of which is located to 284.34, which is 30 Sunset, from the easterly side of River Avenue as measured along the southerly side of the private right-of-way herein described.
That's interesting.
And that's right in my deed, which.
Now, that's in your deed. Oh, I
In
see.
my
Okay,
deed.
that's in your deed.
Yes,
All right, very good.
so
I
that,
thought it was something.
that
that's-
along with this, that's what came up with
Okay,
the judge.
again, I'm gonna say respectfully, that's not what's before this board, whether the house can be put there, not put there.
Right,
everything would be subject to whatever the court say. What's before us is whether we're gonna grant the variance or not.
Oh, regardless that you can't build on it?
Everything would be subject to,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
it would all be subject to, okay?
Okay.
We're not a judge and a jury when it comes to reading the deeds and
Right, I
the
understand
other.
that.
That wouldn't be the purview of the zoning board of appeals.
Okay, but it'd be on record that I was here and that I've
You
been
got
to
it.
court for
Absolutely.
years. And that it has been deemed an easement unencumbered. by-
Absolutely,
Okay,
absolutely.
okay,
Again, just, we're not a court of law that way.
right,
Okay, we're here whether you can get 5 feet, 10 feet, whatever, that's all.
right,
Okay,
okay.
all right,
Thanks.
thank you. Any other member of the public who would like to speak for or against the application?
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Tom Ford. We live at 48 Price Street. We've been residents of the village since 1991. We're here about this matter. Just support Kim in what she said. So this has been going on for a few initial cases, since 2014. I'm one of the initial 45 homeowners who were sued by Mr. Shine to try and erase this,
There you go.
right away, yes, sorry for that word. So I understand what you just said, and I realize it's not up to you, but I just wanted to add on to what you were pointing out to the beach. So where that right of way does grant us rights to swim. But if you look at the corner of property that you were referring to, that is a beach, and follow the town of Brookhaven rules, there's no swimming.
Oh, tell me, it's the village, that was the village lot.
Well, there's a sign that I believe, forgive me, it's been a while since I read it. I believe it was posted by the
But
town of Brookhaven. I assumed it was.
Well, that's
Brookhaven,
interesting, I always thought that was.
But
the
it's
village
not for
lot.
bathing purposes.
No, not anymore.
So, and I'm not even sure the sign is there anymore, but the
I
last
think
time
that's
was.
why they let it grow in.
But it's always been like that since I've been here. Right?
That
It's-
came up when they redid the streets and put that other.
It-
um,
It's
thing.
always been in a state of overgrown. It got worse after they dredged and it got cleaned up once or twice and it's always been a bit of a mess, right?
Gotcha.
But neither here nor there, the sign stated clearly when it was there. Again, I'm not sure it's there at the moment anymore, that it is not for these purposes. So all the rights that are granted to us on the right of way are completely different than the rights that are granted from that access. So
So we don't want to lose the right of way.
that's it.
All right, thank you for your comments. Any other member of the public who would like to speak for or against? No? Anybody else? Oh, hello, Joe.
Yeah, my name is Eddie Cowan, and I live at 36 Price Street. And everything that Tom Ward was just speaking about, I'm part of that civic association also on my team also. And I was one of those 45 people that were sued.
So, Mr. Cohen, it's in your deed as well, to use that parcel.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And that's pretty much all I have to say.
Okay, thank
You
you.
guys have a great day.
And you too, sir. Thank you for coming up. Anyone else who would like to speak? No? If the applicant would come back up, please.
Yeah. Would you like my appearance for the record again?
Why not?
Sure. Melissa Zelli Associates, 86 Medford Avenue, Patchogue, New York. Hello, everybody. So first I'd like to address the setbacks as brought up by Mr. Delian. So it's quite interesting that Mr. Delian is here because Mr. Shine himself and he are the neighboring lots to the lot in question that we're requesting to build on. And neither of their properties are conforming. So while I understand his position to not want to have neighbors on top of one another, his own house, like as he mentioned, his retaining wall is immediately upon the property line. His house is only about 7 feet away from the property line, and his other side is under 5. So his own house, very much non-conforming. and quite close to the property line in question. So our request, being what it is not abnormal for the block in question, nor is it, abnormal for the properties immediately surrounding it. So I would just ask that that be taken into consideration when making your decision. As far as the easement, I'll try to be brief since I know that that's not what you're talking about here today, but since it was brought up a number of times, I would like to address it. Mr. Shine did purchase the property without knowing that there was an easement on the property. There was a title issue when he bought it, which then ensued the years and years of litigation that has gone on since. It was determined by Judge Riley that there is in fact an easement over the property. The lawsuit mentioned by the other two gentlemen, where he sued 45 people, we sued everybody with the easement, with the request of vacating the easement. I had an overwhelming number of neighbors voluntarily sign an abandonment of their easement, and everybody else default. The only remaining person with an easement that appeared and answered are Mr. and Mrs. Swinson. So everybody else's easement is either voluntarily abandoned or defaulted within the litigation. That litigation was subsequently unsuccessful and determined that Ms. Swinson does in fact have an easement over the parcel. Mr. Shine erected a small fence, which can be seen on the survey, from the property line and a little over 3 feet inward, with a gate on the front, so to denote where the crossing easement is. There was then a criminal issue where the family of Ms. Swinson, not Ms. Swinson herself, violently ripped down the fence and were subsequently arrested for destruction of property. This has been a very long, very litigious case. That ended in ACOD. Thereafter, Attorney John Zolo brought an action for contempt against my client to say that the fence and the gate were a violation of the easement because the easement, as their position was, is over the entire parcel. That was then denied. And it was determined that the fence and the gate are not a violation of the easement. Mr. Shine was not held in contempt, and the gate and the fence were allowed to stay because the easement itself is a crossing easement for bathing purposes. The easement states that it's for the utilization of the bathing beach. The ability to cross is still there. The gate doesn't hinder that. It's not locked. They still have access. And Judge Riley agreed with our position that their easement is not affected by the path that was denoted for the easement. As you can see on the survey, our building of the house does not affect that path. The ability to cross is still there, and therefore their easement is still upheld regardless of whether or not we build. There has been a number of hearings in front of Judge Riley since then. The latest of which is the order that you have, in which Mr. Steve Giametto, attorney for Mr. Shine at the time, wanted clarity because, again, it was his prior judgment was sort of vague in determining whether or not we can build, even though he determined within the minutes of the contempt hearing that as long as the path was there, we were fine. And then he did support our position in saying that we were defense attorney's interpretation that we cannot build is wrong, and that that's not what his easement says. Basically, within his minutes, I have minutes of the contempt hearing as well as just 43 pages, so I didn't want to burden everybody with very long copies. That the easement does not negate Mr. Shine's fee simple right over his property. It does not negate his ability to build or essentially do whatever he wants with the property, in so long as he is not affecting their ability to cross over the property and access the bathing beach, which we have preserved within our application.
So one party is saying that the entire parcel is the easement,
Correct.
and another party saying a right of way access from one point to another is the easement.
Correct. So basically, the easement in Miss Vincent's deed denotes the lot as having the easement, and it denotes the lot as it's a 50-foot lot, it's 284 feet away from the corner, blah, blah, blah. But it does not specify where over the 50-foot lot the easement exists. Mr. Zolo and Miss Vincent's position from there was, well, then clearly it's over the whole thing. And that was what was turned down within the contempt and then the subsequent litigation thereafter. And it's not, if it was over the whole thing, it clearly affects his fee simple use as an owner, which Judge Riley firmly said is not the case. Just because somebody has a crossing easement over your property does not render the entire property useless. That doesn't even make much sense. So it was, again, thus determined that so long as the ability to cross was still there, we're not affecting their easement. And he brought it so far as to say that the gate itself, right, because now they can't even just walk across, which was one of the arguments that Mr. Zolo made. He can't even just walk across because they have to physically open a gate to get through. And even that was determined to be fine. He's allowed to have fences, he's allowed to have gates as long as they can still cross over the lot and access the bathing beach.
Okay. And any more comments about the side yard or the front yard variance?
No, I do have closer pictures if anybody
You want to put that
would
on the
like,
record?
sure. That's,
Put it on the record.
so it's the one side, the other side, this is up the neighbor, yeah, the neighbor silhouette, and then this is the over the view, and I have multiple copies.
Is that contempt here under this index number for the?
It is, I have the minutes to it, but the contempt hearing is not,
Some transcript.
right, I have the minutes if you'd like.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't see.
Like I said, it is 43 pages, but Judge Riley does very clearly state that Mr. Shine is not in contempt and that the ability to cross is what the easement requires.
Exactly.
So I wanna take a look at that.
Okay.
I'm not saying we're gonna go sit here. Try to render a new judgment or anything, but I do want some clarity.
And I do believe that if
Yeah, it's always been our
If it's
position
more
that variance is
clear.
granted.
yeah, if the variance is granted to denote the fact on the survey and on the plans that the path in question is, or the path that we have delineated with the gate in front is an easement, and I guess just for anything in the future, yeah.
And it'll be ADA compliant.
All right, so there's additional information, Counselor, that you're requesting?
Yeah, I do want to see the minutes that are mentioned.
I just need to over. Yep.
And I'm gonna go through the litigation document, only because if we're approving a plan, and the plan has to have some access for the community. The degree of that access kind of is a question, how wide does it have to be, what kind of nature?
The house
And
is
I
being
will-
built right over the
Yeah,
fence.
I mean, and I don't want them to build something that's just going against the building. So we
And I will say, Judge Riley, within those minutes, you can see he clearly asked Mr. Zolo, so you're saying the easement is over the entire 50-foot parcel? It is directly brought up within those minutes and then subsequently denied and said that, no, it's not, the path is fine, the gate is fine.
And the minimum path would be 36 inches. But if the board elected to widen that out to 60 inches, which is where we kind of were considering.
Mr. Counselor, is there a legal definition that when we get at this meeting, you could provide us for what an easement is and like what's? Like, is it is it a similar to a road? Like, is there, like, it's not a road that you're driving down, but like, is it, yeah, so.
Yeah,
We got it.
easement is, it's access, so
It's
it's
access.
property, it can be anything, it would be defined as how it is, a deed or a covenant that's filed with the county clerk. But yeah, it's basically what's said in the document and how it's interpreted in this case by the court.
Because my question is, would that take, like, would that be off, like, they have a 50-foot lot? Would the easement be subtracted from that?
No, so typically we wouldn't, like in measuring the lot, we just say this is what the lot is. A lot of properties, happens with a lot of properties.
Absolutely. When they're not building a flag lot, yeah.
Yeah.
It's an easement.
Yeah.
Right, it's similar to like usually that's utilities.
Utilities,
okay.
Use of-
Counselor, how much time do you need to read this? Next meeting, 2 meetings,
Next meeting.
next meeting. will be
When's
fine.
is our next meeting September 2nd?
All right,
And we have,
I'd rather do it, I'd rather get it going.
Yeah, I used to.
Next meeting, all right, I'll take a motion. Oh, I'm sorry,
Can I take response?
if you would like, all right, these other folks that came down, just excuse me 1 second. You will have a chance to rebuttal as well. Okay. So Ms. Swenson, you'll come first, and then I guess Ron will come second. Hi.
I just wanted to respond to some of those things I found, true. Judge Riley did recognize it as the entire lot as an easement. He wanted us to work on, coming up with something that would be, okay. It is a private right of way and, 77 years ago, she had made a comment that it didn't make sense, but I guess 77 years ago, it did make sense.
Makes sense to someone.
And it does exactly specify that in my deed and in the papers that I gave you. It was clear that, I can't imagine being real estate, not knowing that there was an easement when you bought it. The property was sold for $50,000. So at 50 by 100 waterfront for $50,000, you would wonder why. I would, and I'm not real estate. My family, my husband and my 2 children did take the fence. She made reference to that. It was not violent. And they were actually encouraged by people to do that. And it was a response to something that happened to me at the beach in terms of those bullying activities over 6 years that we've endured. That I'd rather not get into. They saw my reaction when I got home and that was their response. And I went lunatic because we're on camera. When you're down there, you're on camera 24/7. So it wasn't violent and they were not arrested and it was dropped. The easement is 50 by 100, so I want that to be clear. It is the entire lot, so anything when it goes down to anything, that would be the Swinsons and anyone from Bay River Realty who also has this in their deed, so it's not just the Swinson, it is other people. And I don't believe people signed off on that. And Judge Riley agreed with the path, he did, but he wanted us to come up with a measurement, which never happened, and he also wanted the fence down, which never happened, even though it was directed. So, and then these were just pictures, I mean, this is like one bullying thing, but there were a
Thank you for
lot.
clarifying.
Okay, thank you.
You got some homework to do, Counselor. Ron?
Okay, sorry to bother you again.
Not at all. That's what we're here for.
So, not to sound redundant, but the variances, yes, I was granted variances to build my house. But I believe to the east, I was granted the variance because there was still 30 foot between our homes. So it still was in accordance with the similarity of the other homes on that side. Now, back in the day, it was said and it was brought up during the hearing that that lot was unbuildable. Thus the reason for that retaining and the septic wall erected exactly on the property line. So I just wanted to clarify that. Now, the house is in a couple of feet from the retaining wall for the septic system. Now, things have changed considerably since then because now there's a sewer system down there, but we had to go through the expense of putting up that retaining wall for the septic for the Department of Health. We no longer need that. So now that retaining wall is exactly on the property line. How far over to the east is that house going to be erected? Is it going to be 5 foot? So I'm going to have 8 foot between the houses? I mean, it's going to be conforming. It's going to be conforming to the houses to the west, the stone cottages, but it's not going to be conforming to the houses to the east. So again, it's going to be up to the board to make that decision, but
We want to get a previous map from the applicant.
Yeah, probably a very good idea.
That retaining wall is built exactly on the property line. Again, it was brought up during the hearing that that lot was unbuildable at the time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. and
Thank you.
board. I appreciate your time.
You got it.
Alrighty.
Hi, Council.
Hi, so, I don't wanna go back and forth with the piece. I'm sure that Ms. Vincent is just not, aware of the legal technicalities as not being a lawyer. They were arrested. I was at the arraignment. I personally appeared at their, hearings. It was subsequently with it, disposed of with an ACOD, but the arrest 100% did occur. And then subsequently, Mr. Zola brought the contempt hearing, which is what is right there determined that Mr. Shine can have the fence, he can have the gate as long as they can cross, we're not in violation of the easement. And then as far as the building or the setbacks from Mr. Thelian's home, at one point the lot may have been rendered unbuildable, given the septic issues that are no longer an issue, now that there are sewers in the area. And I understand that his house being very close to the property line would then render our house close to his house if our house is close to the property line. However, the easement that we're discussing goes in between the two houses, the house that we're proposing to be built and Mr. Thelian's house. So we'll have the small setback that is from the property line to Mr. Thelian's house, plus the easement and more, because we're asking for 5 feet.
It would be a total of 12.
It would be a total of 12 feet between the two houses. And again, while there's might be some properties in the area that are conforming, I think it's pretty clear that a lot of houses on that street are non-conforming, so our house would fit right in.
All right, we're gonna need council to have some time to read here. What is before this board right now is a variance, side yard, front yard. There is an added twist as to whether the whole lot's an easement, not an easement, but it was a 5-foot easement. There was never maybe an agreement, whatever. So we're gonna need council to work through that before he can advise this board on where we can stand. Makes sense? Okay. So with that, I'm going to sorry, members of the public, you gotta be a little patient with us on this one. So I'll take a motion on adjournment, please.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we adjourn this application to our next meeting.
Which is
And a second.
Okay, motion has been made to adjourn this application, next meeting, second by Mr. Allen. All in favor? Aye, no opposed, we're adjourned, we'll be back to September 2. Hopefully council found out where we're going. Okay,
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
thank you. I'll take a motion on recess.
Chairman, make a motion, we go to recess?
Motion by Mr. Mayor to go to recess, seconded by. Oh, Ms. Murphy. All right. Good morning. The August 19, 2025 meeting of the Patchogue Village Zoning Board of Appeals is now back in session for the decision calendar. First item on our calendar will be 25-15 Panera Development LLC of 35 Panera Court. Seeks permission to construct a two-family, two-story dwelling requiring referral to the Board of Trustees for a special permit. Applicant requires relief from lot size, 435-25C, 10,000 square feet required, provided 5961. Also required relief from front yard with 435-25D, 50 feet required, 10 provided. Requires relief from rear yard setback, 435-25G. 25 required, provided 9.7. Subject premises is located in the industrial zone. May I have a motion on this application?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Miggs.
make a motion to deny without prejudice.
Motion has been made by Mr. Miggs to deny this without prejudice, second by Ms. McCauley. On a roll call vote, yes to deny, no to approve. Mr. Salazar.
Just to deny.
Mr. Deny. Mr. Miggs.
Yes, to deny.
Ms. Lamontagne.
Yes to deny.
Mr. Priscilla, yes to deny. Ms. Christian. Ms. McCauley.
To deny.
Yeah, Ms. Murphy
Yes, to
and
deny.
Mr. Allen.
Yes to deny.
Okay, that goes down 7-0.
Wow, that was quick.
Yeah, no, I counted before.
It's pretty equal.
The next application will be that of 2519, Christina and Michael Keeney, 112 Common Street, seeks permission to erect a new PVC fence along Bailey Ave. Requirement relief before 3542A, 30 inches required, provided 6 feet. Proposed fence to be erected on the southwest boundary line, 10 feet required, but 0 provided. Subject premises is located in the residential zone. May I have a motion on this application? Ms. Lamontagne.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve the application as written. Well, it's approve and deny. Approve and deny,
Yeah, there you go.
so
How you doing that?
approve and
All
deny.
right,
as
you're
written.
gonna approve the 6 foot and deny the 10 foot?
That's correct.
Okay. Motion is made by Ms. Lamontagne, seconded by Ms. Murphy. On a roll call vote, how do you do this?
Yes to approve and approve deny.
What's that?
Yes to approve deny.
Yes, to approve and.
Yeah,
Yes,
how's
to
that sound,
approve
right?
6 foot, no.
All right, yes to approve
Height,
1/2 and deny the second half. Motion, Mr. Salazar.
Just to approve and deny.
Okay, Mr. Miggs.
yes, to approve 1/2 and deny the second half.
Right, that's right. Ms. Lamontagne.
Yes to approve and deny.
So yes to approve and deny. Mr. McCall.
Yes, to approve and deny.
Mr. Murphy, Ms. Murphy,
Yes, to approve and deny.
and Mr. Allen.
Yes to approve and yes to approve.
Oh, I got you. All right. You figure out how that goes. So. All right,
Quite for that.
the next application will be that of 2520. Kenneth Teekman, 4-wheeler walk, seeks permission to replace an existing approximate 37.4 times 11.10 via deck. Construct a 5 foot by 37.4 addition to the deck, requiring relief of 435-15I, 25% building area required, provided 34.4. Also requires relief of 435-15J, 5 feet side yard setback required, 9 inches provided on the north side yard. Such premises in the A residential zone. May I have a motion on this application?
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve the application as written.
Motion made by Mr. Salazar to approve the application as written, seconded by Mr. Biggs. Roll call vote, Mr. Salazar.
Yes to approve.
Mr. Biggs.
Yes, to approve.
Ms. Lamontagne.
Mr. Chairman, I will have to recuse as I was not here for the application.
Gotcha. Mr. Priscilla, yes to approve. Ms. McCall
Yes, to approve.
and Ms. Murphy
Yes, to approve.
and Mr. Oh, you.
I have to abstain in the
Yeah.
recusal.
Mr. Allen is recused, so the motion carries. 5-0. Motion on tonight's meeting. What?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we close tonight's meeting.
Is there any discussion on the motion?
Yes to approve.
Second by Ms. Murphy.
Yes, to approve the motion.